Alright, and we're live.
Populate head again.
If it starts making noises again, just like
Wait, so it
just like wait
filming with the sound.
Yeah, just don't make any like
Good to know. This probably wasn't a great placement, but it's
just write them down.
just I'll bring it over.
Alright, I'm gonna get Shelby. Yeah, if it starts making any noises, just like
punch me and I'll
okay,
like
I'll
crawl.
she's sitting there and
I'll
I'm
like
gonna sit back.
awkwardly come.
Alright. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
You have a whole bunch of
Good so far. We're back.
I do. I do have one that goes to the binder now. Like the flat ones that sit right there.
Because I always break it. It's like a dagger.
Good. Recording already?
It's like,
Yeah, keep it you today, Catherine.
it's hard.
Honestly.
It's really hard.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I like your job. Then it has a couple
I think multiple choice.
it's like no mental thought process. I don't know. It's just like
The multiple choice sounds like organic. It's crazy that you have like half the juice. And you get there and you're like, oh, it requires so much work.
I know.
to find like one answer.
oh yeah.
Okay, I need to use the restroom, but it's 5:27. So that was like extremely poor planning on my part.
Okay. I think it's just really big. I think that'd be really cool in a disgusting kind of way.
Well, I know. I think that's such a awesome part. And they were telling me well, not only and she was going to do a filibuster, which is where you just get up there and talk until somebody's like, fine, you win. And she wore that ring.
Sounds
It's like,
drama.
you can't stop me. I have to wear one.
So, like, how do you keep your facial expression?
I don't know.
This is like, it's like,
Yeah, I don't know.
safety. So, here? Okay. Sorry.
Aaron, are you keeping Ross in line?
I was trying, and then
If we can do that.
it's fine. Just leave it.
I'm so
Just
sorry.
write safety and transportation. Okay. Okay. I'll just. It's fine. When you do a consider you don't do it in your report. Oh, you do it in your report. Okay.
Are you like, did you have separate training?
No, it was like we do. So you should not like you yeah, we wrote it.
Have you submitted?
Yeah, no, that's what I decided.
I was going to ask you. See y'all.
You don't say.
Oh,
It's by you.
It's only if it's not like yours.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Simpson.
Yeah.
Sure. No. Yeah. I'll constantly. Yeah. I thought you were talking about going to like I didn't know I was out.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Very snazzy.
That's good. I decided to put everything on for Gatsby on this Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the time to get into it on Sunday, so I just.
Yes, I'm in office on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, yes, it's good on this jacket. Wait, who's here on?
Bless you.
Oh, and back your backpack. My phone is really small and I thought it was.
I don't know anything doing.
This fits my phone. It's right next to my Marion Costa Hawkins.
Can't be friends.
All right, next. I like the post.
Yeah.
So.
Gas.
You and I need to talk about Alex. Silverman. Will all senators please go to their seats? We're going to get going here.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, I think it was wrong.
You told me. Should have modified.
Where's this at?
Yeah.
The 108th Senate will come to order. We'll now have a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Members and guests will please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Senator Selesky.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Senator Solar?
I move to suspend the rules to allow Jennifer Myers to speak.
There has been a motion to suspend the rules to allow Jennifer Myers to speak. Is there a second?
Second.
Has been seconded without objection, so ordered.
I feel special. I don't want to use a mic though, is that okay? You guys are okay without a mic? Awesome. Some of you might know I do mental health work on campus, and I asked your student government leaders if we could come and show a video that we created and get your evaluation on it, but also just get you to think about how we might use it. So if you really love it and want to share it on your social media, there ain't no stopping you. You can find it on the Counseling and Psychiatry website. You can also look up Mental Health Matters at U of SC on YouTube, share it from there. And just the other thing I want to tell you before we get into video and eval, because I know your time is precious and I appreciate it, is we are in a national competition and are currently in first place. No, I was not a college athlete, but we are to take an online mental health suicide prevention training. It's 30 minutes of your life. I think of it as first aid, mental health first aid. 30% of our students feel so depressed it's difficult for them to function in the course of an academic year. You're gonna run into students with mental health concerns. It's interactive. It's free to us only till April 26th. So if you want to look it up, check it out. Just Google Cognito Active Minds Challenge. Cognito with a K. Cognito Active Minds Challenge. Share it all you want. We got 252 students who have joined you in it. Jump on, get us the 500. We'd love you to do so. And at that, all I'm going to ask you to do is watch the video and evaluate it.
I went to go seek help after close friends and family started noticing my patterns of starting to struggle. I started withdrawing from social groups.
So I started feeling a lot of anxiety around food, probably when I was about 13 and 8th grade. That's when I started taking my sport really seriously. When I came to college, I kind of had I had a relapse. Being a college athlete for the first time, it made all those like anxieties kind of come back.
I didn't want to think there's something wrong with me or my friends to think that there's something wrong with me. But then I decided and realized that I needed somebody else to confide in and talk to about the things that I was going through.
When I got there, the counselor was just able to be kind of a person to walk alongside me. And she just kind of helped me understand that there is hope with what I was going through.
They were very open and were not judgmental at all. They just kind of, I don't know, they just listened.
Especially after talking with my doctor and talking with my counselor, they really just provided the courage to tell my friends, and their response was better than I could have ever imagined.
Some of my friends actually started going to counseling after I talked to them about it.
Just having like that support group for the first time was amazing.
The really important thing that my friends offered was accountability. Make sure that I wasn't feeling well, that I was getting help.
The first part of getting better is recognizing you have a problem. And the second step is just stepping out of your comfort zone and just doing it, because I mean, the more you bottle it in, the worse it's going to get.
There's nothing taboo about it. Once you go get help, it's just like going to the doctor if you get a flu.
They have your best interest at heart, and they want to help you.
It's a little nerve-wracking at first, but once you get there, you're talking to people who are trained to talk to people. So they're really, really nice and receptive, and I think you should give it a chance.
I'm Bree. I'm a freshman.
I'm Benjamin Giddens, sophomore year. I'm Jesus Roman, and I'm a junior.
My name is Sabrina Haynes, and I'm a senior.
I would just commend them for taking advantage of the resources that we have here.
I'd be thankful because I guess it's better to get help than to internalize issues.
Everyone likes to be heard and know that their problems are valid.
Kind of hard to find like a single word.
Brave, courageous, brave. I think that that's a really big step for somebody to take.
It takes a lot of respect for oneself to go look for help when you know you need it. I'd either try to support them by myself, but I'd usually say get help, but I'd let them talk about it. Try and be open and hear what they have to say, and then guide them towards whatever the proper channels to get help.
These stigmatize mental health, instead of saying you have a problem, you're just different. Letting them know that they're not the only one that has that issue, and that it's okay if you do have issues.
Let them know that it's just human nature, that there's nothing to be ashamed of it, that it's okay It's an imperfection that makes them perfect. So. Be real.
Be there.
Mental health matters.
So here's the awesome stuff, right? Hopefully you guys like it. But you know, I have to wear my sciences brain, which means we want your opinion. So rather than talking about it, if you would just take a moment to fill out the front and back of this, it is completely confidential. What that means is if you choose to identify yourself certain ways, I don't go, hey, I think that was the person in the back of the room. Someone else enters the data for me. So if you would do so, that would be great. If you've already done so, feel free to pass it to the end or whatever. Yeah, we might have a few more in the back of the room. John, will you help me get a few forms right next to you? He knows his name. He knows what he's doing. John and I are friends. We hang out with each other a lot. You'll know why. When he talks to you here in a little while, right? You're listening to stuff. So I want to make sure your processes go smoothly. So if you need me to.
Just get these ladies one here.
Oh, thank you. And then I'll come down to you.
All right.
So,
I'll make sure you get them back.
oh, you're perfect.
Raise your hand if you need one. All good.
Do you have a question? Oh, you need one? Okay, awesome. So the only other thing I want to say while I wait for just a second is we have a really important campus visit to improve our campus mental health initiatives that your student body president will be a part of, along with a couple other peer leaders, so a resident mentor or Change of Carolina peer leader. That's this Friday. So if you want to have your voice heard about ways we can improve our mental health, we're bringing in a consultant from New York City and from Atlanta, from the JED Foundation, to do so, not about services necessarily, about all of our initiatives and policies and procedures. So let him know, and let him be your voice in that meeting. And obviously you can always talk to me on campus, and I appreciate your time and your importance in mental health, because all of you know that it's very, very, very important. I'm gonna let your processes continue. Thank you.
Senator Hunger Pillar.
I would like to move to confirm Stephanie Langford as the senator to fill the vacant seat for the School of Music.
There has been a motion to allow Stephanie Langford to fill the open Senate seat for the College of Music. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Stephanie, you may come forward and take your oath.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Stephanie Langford,
Do solemnly pledge
do solemnly pledge
to faithfully execute
to faithfully execute
the office of Student Body Senator,
the office of Student Body Senator,
to abide by the Student Government Constitution,
to abide by the Student Government Constitution,
to uphold the Carolinian Creed,
to uphold the Carolinian Creed,
and to represent my constituents
and to represent my constituents
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Stephanie. I know Worth is very happy
Yeah.
to have
Woohoo!
a fellow music senator.
About time.
With that being said, we're continuing on. The clerk will call the roll.
Senators Alduino,
Here.
Bailey,
Roxy.
Barcenas, Bass,
Present.
Bradley,
Present.
Childs,
Present.
Dodge. Here. Balls, Farrell,
Present.
Linton, Geyser, Hatchin, Helms,
Present.
Ensley, Holgate, Powell,
Present.
Hungerpiller,
Present.
Jackson,
Present.
Christina Johnson, Kendra Johnson, Langston, Lesson,
Present.
Llewellyn,
Present.
Little. McFarland. Miskin.
Present.
Moran.
Present.
Murphy.
Present.
Newman.
Present.
Wen. O'Reilly.
Rocket.
Owen. Parker.
Sobelman.
Rocket.
Thank you.
So you can only proxy for one senator
Oh, that's
based
right.
on that
Proxy.
bill. I can't allow you to fill out the proxy form.
No, he filled it out.
Not for you.
Oh, I got you. I see
I
what you're saying.
know, isn't that unfortunate?
Yeah.
Senator Rakowski.
Present.
Robinson.
Should get him to fill it.
Rodwell. Rogers.
Proxy.
Zaleski.
Present.
Sobelman. Sprouse. Stewart. Teal.
Present.
Toller.
Present.
Trask.
Present.
Wallem.
Proxy.
Ward.
Present.
Wolf.
Present.
John.
Present.
Is there a motion to approve the journal of April 6, 2016, found online? Senator Newman moved to approve the journal. Is there a second?
Second.
Without objection, so ordered. We're now in line for general reports, beginning with reports from committee chairmen. The chair recognizes Senator Toller of the Rules Committee.
Hey everyone, glad to see you guys. Just real quick, we do have one bill, and this is just from me and a few other senators who worked on the leadership PIN committee. We will be introducing that on the first reading calendar this week, and then they will be invited to come next week and receive a copy of the resolution. We picked 30 individuals this year, so our numbers are up from last year, and I would yield for any questions that you guys may have.
Senator Toller yields to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The chair now recognizes Senator Stewart of the Academics Committee.
Hey everyone, so I actually have a few things to talk about today. We didn't have any legislation referred to my committee this week, but we did send the classroom improvement project off to be confirmed and finalized, so we're really excited about that. So once we get that back, we're going to be sending out maybe a Google form either at the end of this semester or towards the middle of next semester for y'all to be able to work at the tables that we're going to be at with the iPads for students to fill out this survey. So I will keep y'all updated on that. I also wanted to talk about appointing someone to kind of take over the course wish list initiative that was started last year. I sent y'all a GroupMe picture this afternoon just because in the essence of time, for the concern of time, I might not be able to go over everything in regard to course wish list today. But I will give y'all my phone number, so if you have any questions about it, you can call me after the meeting. But it is an initiative meant to facilitate greater student engagement with their curriculum and to signal student interest in previously unknown educational gaps by providing students with a means to submit courses they wish were offered. So what it is students will submit a course idea to this Google form, and then the students will vote on the courses that are approved by the student government representative, like in the middle of the week. And then common courses that keep on being recommended will be compiled and sent to administration or the department head to tell them that, you know, this is a great course, this is what students are wanting, just to be able to be advocates for students. Other than that, my phone number is 864-414-4565. I do prefer to be called. I'm not good at texting. So if you have any questions or if you would like to take over this position, I would love the help. And you can call me if you have any questions. So I yield for questions.
Senator Stewart yields for questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Senator Stewart. The chair now recognizes Senator Helms of the Athletics Committee.
Hey everybody, so we had our meeting last Wednesday in the student government office. In our meeting, we met after, but we actually interviewed both of President Park's candidates for Secretary of Athletics, Sam Swink and Taylor Benson. We found both of those to be favorable. as well as finding SBL 10821 favorable. As far as projects that we're working on, obviously still Athlete of the Week we're working on. Ross and I have been in contact with Mr. Ken Corbett about copyright things for the shirts, but we're talking back and forth, so that's at least moving along. And then I'm gonna try going to a SAC meeting, which is a Student Athletic Advisory Committee, and talking with them about Athlete of the Week. But that's about it right now. So if you have any questions, I'll take the questions.
Senator Helms yields to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Chair now recognizes Senator Murphy of the Environmental Affairs Committee.
Hi, everybody. So we met on Sunday night. We actually had an extra senator present, Senator Shung, and that was super cool. So if anyone wants to come out to our meetings, we'd love to have you. They're 7 p.m. at Cool Beans every Sunday. We interviewed Scott Goldberg, who is the candidate for the Secretary of Environmental Affairs. We found him very favorable. As far as projects that we're working on right now, we have 2 pieces of legislation that are going to be introduced tonight. So I'll spare some time and I'll tell you about them when they come up later this evening. But yeah, we're hard at work in environmental affairs, and I yield the questions if y'all have any.
Senator Murphy yields to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. The chair now recognizes Senator Holgate of the Finance Committee.
Good evening, everybody. We met on Friday and we interviewed all of the comptroller nominees. We found them all favorable. And then real quick again, if you are interested at all in Finance Committee, please reach out to me. If the meeting time has been a problem this year and you couldn't do 2:30 to 4:30 on Fridays, we're going to be reassessing that meeting time for the coming semester. So if you're at all interested, please reach out to me. Let me know your availability, and we'd be happy to have you. And that's it. I yield for questions.
Senator Holgate yields to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much, Senator. The chair now recognizes Senator Llewellyn of the Judiciary Committee.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I was trying to take advantage of the new proxy policy. Anyway, thanks for catching me. Yeah, new change is change. Anyway, so we met just earlier at 5 o'clock today. We had to meet with Corey Alpert, the nominee for Attorney General. Yeah, it's a rough day. Anyway, but and we found him very favorable. He seems like he has worked with elections in the past, and he's very knowledgeable of the constitutions and requirements. So anyway, we'll be bringing him up later. So I hope you will vote to bring him in. We also found SBL 108, 22, and 26 favorable. We think they're very good ideas, both of them, to simplify our process of impeachment, and also to we really want to put our foot behind the supporting students and their well-being. So, and I think that is a yield for any questions.
Senator Llewellyn yields to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The chair now recognizes Senator Jackson of the Multicultural Affairs Committee.
Good evening, Senators. We met after our interview for our nominee of Secretary of Multicultural Affairs, Alba Maydew. We found her very favorable. We're so excited to see what she's going to bring to the table if she gets passed through. We also discussed our new resolution, SBL 10834. I'll discuss the details of the legislation later up when we bring it up, but I do yield for questions.
Senator Jackson yields for questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chair now recognizes Senator Hungerpiller of the Powers and Responsibilities Committee.
Ross, may I move to allow the other members of my committee to join me up here?
I'll allow it. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're having just this wonderful day today, as I am. It's a beautiful day. start things off, I will say this, there was no legislation that was referred to my committee, so we did not do that. And fantastic news, with the confirmation of Stephanie Langford, we now have a full 50-member Senate. So let's give a big round of applause for that. Thank you. Now we move on to what my committee has been doing for the past week, which is interviewing cabinet nominees. And I would just like to acknowledge that all 4 of my fellow committee members have done a tremendous job, and I cannot imagine doing it without them. They sacrifice many hours of their time to do that. With that said, let me move on to the cabinet nominees. For the 2 directors of the It's On Us campaign, we found both of them to be very favorable. They were both extremely well-spoken and had fantastic passion. Also, we found the director of USC Proms to be favorable. We found both freshman council advisors to be favorable. We found the director for the Congressional Advisory Board to be favorable. The Secretary of Alumni Relations, favorable. The Secretary for Traditions, favorable. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, very favorable. Secretary of Institutional Affairs, favorable. Secretary of Community Outreach, favorable. However, I do regret to inform that these are the following positions that we found unfavorable. And as I go through this, I will be yielding the floor for different members of my committee to address it.
Is that fine?
It's whatever you guys want.
I prefer to do that, just whenever they're.
My committee will be addressing the reasons why we found nominees to be unfavorable later on in the session during special orders. And during that time, we will open the floor up for questions from the members of the Senate. With that, thank you for your time, and I have nothing left to report.
The chair now recognizes Senator Farrell, the Safety and Transportation Committee.
Hey guys, so this week we met on the second floor of Russell at 8:15. We met with cabinet applicant Keith Spadero, and we found him favorable. He has some really impressive experience with JP Morgan regarding like crisis management. I think he has like a lot of really great ideas for how the Senate's gonna, for like different ideas we could incorporate into Senate. Also on the second reading calendar today, we have SBL 10825. Just to refresh your memory, that's kind of regarding a resolution to recognize the Student Health Services for their works regarding Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So I think that's a really good cohesive legislation that we can do to just kind of recognize the work they've done on campus. Also, I met with Courtney Keith this Friday. We had some really nice dialogue about some different issues that Whatcom Cocky's kind of been facing the past year, and ways we can kind of like address that for the coming term, and also different kind of ways to like increase volunteer presence. I think that's pretty much it. So at this point, I yield to questions.
Chair now recognizes Senator Bass, the Student Services Committee.
Good evening, everyone. I'll try to keep this short because I have an odd feeling this is going to go a bit long tonight. So basically, we thank you, LeBron. This Monday we interviewed Katie Cohen. She is a current freshman council member, and we found her very favorable. Very happy to work with her over the next year, and along with all of the other recommendations by President Parks here. I'm sure they're all fantastic. But she is very on the mental health and wellness side of the the campus and the university, so very excited to see what initiatives come from her and what we can help her with. Besides that, SBL 10813, which is Swipe Out Hunger, our committee found very favorable as well, and I believe that's on the second reading calendar tonight. And besides that, we started working on a few bigger projects to start working on for the next semester. But besides that, I will yield for questions.
Senator Bass, for questions. Are there any questions? Thank you, Senator Bass.
We're now in line for a report from freshman council. A representative from freshman council is recognized. Seeing none. We're now in line for a report from the Residence Hall Association. A representative from RHA is recognized. Seeing none, we're now in line for a report from Constitution. Senator Little. You can come forward. Representative from the Constitution Council is recognized. The report. We're now in line for a report from our student body treasurer, Stinson Rogers.
Hey, y'all. Hope y'all are having a great day. Just an update from my office. Uber, this week I began the process of potentially executing a deal with them. I reached out to the University of Florida and talked to their president, Jocelyn, and she put me in contact with Uber, and I emailed them today, and they emailed me back, and so that dialogue has begun. Communications, we've been off to a fantastic year already. We're already seeing record numbers. Just to give you guys some numbers, we are up 883% on our tweets. We are up with tweet impressions. We're up 330%. Our profile visits were up 75.3%, and our follower base this month alone, we've already increased to 64. With that being said, how many of you guys knew about the It's On Us kickball tournament? How many of you guys knew about the Pillar Shag Night that's taking place tomorrow night? How many of you guys know about Denim Day, which is taking place on April 27th? How many of you guys knew that Vice President Lorda spoke at Iris last night? Okay, if you guys would take out your phones right now and follow us on Insta, Twitter, and Facebook, you guys can stay in the know about the things that are going on. That's where we put all our stuff out. I think it's kind of sad that only like 10 hands went up for each one that I said, but we represent the student government, and these are the programs that we're actually putting on. With that, this Friday, I'll be sitting down with McKenna, Barbara Jean, and Aubrey Jenkins, and we'll be going over the website, and we'll be updating the information and the pictures. And I'll leave you guys with this quote. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Thank y'all.
We're now in line for a report from the student body vice president. Chief Advisor Nick Maria is recognized.
All right, good evening, everyone. So you all should have gotten an email from me with a Google form to say what student organizations you all are involved in. About 20 of you have responded, so now with a full Senate, that means 30 more to go. So please check your email for that. If you don't have it, reach out to me and I'll be sure to send it again after this meeting. We just want to keep track of what organizations you all are involved in. So if student government wants to approach one, we now have someone who's in that organization who can give us the insight and be our connection to them. On top of that, I'm happy to report that I worked very closely with Senator Stewart to get the questions prepared for the Classroom Improvement Project. So we're now developing a survey to sort of see the classroom climate and any deficiencies in terms of facilities and classroom layout and those sort of things that students might identify on campus. So that way, when we pass resolutions for it, we'll actually have quantitative statistical data to back that information up. On top of that, we're looking forward to starting a lot of projects and initiatives once we come back in the fall, and we're laying the groundwork to sort of hit the ground running. And besides that, I will yield to any questions.
Nick Maria yields for questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none,
Thank you, guys.
We're now in line for a report from student body president Michael Parks.
Good evening, everybody. So in the last couple of days, it's come to my attention that the Powers and Responsibilities Committee recently found the addition of cabinet offices of Greek affairs unfavorable. I'd like to address each point of the committee's reasoning in this process and explain why these offices, as well as my nominations for secretaries, are necessary and beneficial to this student body. Quote, when looking into the initiatives and goals of the positions introduced to the committee, it was presented to represent those organizations in the NPC and IFC, rather than representing Greek life in the Greek community as a whole, including those organizations that are classified as pre-professional, multicultural, minority, and service organizations, end quote. Let me preface this by saying 27% of our student body is Greek. This is not limited to members of organizations in the Greek village, but includes members of pre-professional, multicultural, minority, and service organizations, as the Powers and Responsibilities Committee previously mentioned. Now, while conducting interviews for these positions, myself and my staff made it a priority, a huge priority, to find secretaries who are both familiar with these organizations, as well as that set goals and initiatives that benefit all of Greek life. The key thing is that the key thing that set Emily Strauss and Will Lever, my two nominees for this position that I wish to create, that set these two folks apart in their interviews with my staff is their clear intent to both represent and serve members of each and every Greek organization. Now, Emily communicated clear goals and initiatives to bring together each of the Greek organizations on our campus, such as the creation of regular meetings between officers from each Greek committee and organization. Moving on to the rest of the report from the Senate Powers and Responsibilities Committee. Quote, the committee has found that it is not in the Greek community's best interest as a whole to allow these positions to be created, but rather those Greek organizations in the Greek village who are represented within the university through established councils and offices, such as sorority and fraternity councils, along with the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life, end quote. Now, as a model of democratic representation, student government has incorporated secretaries of Greek affairs to the student body president's executive cabinet over the last decade to represent this significant portion of our student body on an annual basis. The purpose of a dual secretary system, as in one male secretary and one female secretary to represent our Greek community, is to share the collective responsibility of representing such a large and diverse group of students. Will Lever and Emily Strauss, my two nominees for this office, dual secretary position that I wish to create, will work hand in hand with the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life, which is a governing entity that encompasses all of Greek organizations. By working with these councils, our secretaries will act as a liaison between Greek life and student government to effectively communicate the goals and the concerns of their respective organizations. Moving on to the next issue that was found unfavorable by the Senate Powers and Responsibilities Committee. My nominee for campus outreach, Brian Solomon. Mr. Solomon is a trained ally of the Safe Zone Project, which provides education and awareness of the LGBTQ issues. His experience as a resident mentor over the last 2 years on this campus and his immense credibility, and when I say immense credibility, I mean immense credibility in regard to the vast diversity and demographic makeup of our student body makes him an ideal applicant. Mr. Solomon is passionate about advocating for minority students. He's passionate about connecting them to student government, and he's passionate about the myriad of student organizations that are available to these diverse students. Now, communication is the heartbeat of this position, the position of Secretary of Campus Outreach. And if you want to talk about communication, there's no one better than Mr. Solomon. Mr. Solomon's experience in communications, both through student media and student housing services, make him an ideal fit for someone who will communicate with both the Office of Multicultural Affairs and the student body at large. Moving on to the next position, Attorney General. It's come to my attention that the Powers and Responsibilities Committee recently found my nomination of the Office of Elections Commission unfavorable. Excuse me, this is about Elections Commission, not Attorney General. I would like to address each point of the committee's reasoning in this decision and explain why my nominee, Monty Valaprabum, while my nominee is not only sufficient but incredibly capable of this office. To begin with the report, quote, the committee was immediately concerned by Mr. Valaprabum that the election commissioner was not his first place, suggesting that he was settling for the position, end quote. Now, Monty's first choice indeed was Attorney General. And I'm sure many of you know this, in my application process, 3 positions for every applicant. So we had a total of 59 applicants, and we encouraged every single applicant to pick their top 3 positions that they would be interested and that they feel that they would be a proper fit for to serve our student body. That being said, Monty's number 2 was Election Commission. Seeing as Monty exhibits, excuse me, I lost my place. Monty's first choice was Attorney General. Although a position different in nature and responsibilities than that of Election Commissioner, the dedication to the student government codes and constitution, as well as impartiality to third parties, and a strong sense of integrity is an overlapping characteristic, if you will, of both of these positions, which is why we felt that he would make a strong applicant for this position. Seeing as Monty exhibits all these traits and attributes, combined with his passion for law and a clear ability to form a team, to lead a team, the team being the election commission, he was a clear-cut choice to be this year's election commissioner. The report also included, quote, "The nominee did not have any experience with the Elections Commission itself, and the committee concluded that familiarity with the Election Commission is an integral part of being a fit election commissioner." Now, when referring to past precedent, the position of election commissioner has not always been held by an individual with experience on the election commission. This year's commissioner was never part of the commission prior to her appointment by President Kaufman. Additionally, the student government advisor, Teresa Sexton, who everyone in this room knows, Teresa Sexton advised me that, quote, "It is preferable for the election commissioner to be an individual without extensive experience in student government to further assure their impartiality and their integrity in the election." To move on further in the report, quote, "He asserted multiple times that there were discrepancies in the student government codes and constitution, and on multiple probes to elaborate, the candidate failed to mention anything of substance regarding that matter. Mr. Villaparabum has communicated several discrepancies to my office through the process of his interview and my communication to him regarding my nomination as election commissioner. And I think that he will make this evident later this evening. Allow me to conclude this long weekly briefing. My appointees for secretaries within my cabinet not only represent myself, but this office, the student government, this university, and this student body. This is clearly something that I don't take lightly. Needless to say, after 25 hours of interviews with over 59 applicants, it is something that my staff took very seriously. Now, with no disrespect intended to the Powers and Responsibilities Committee, whose role of executive oversight is both helpful and necessary, I encourage each of you to join me in welcoming these nominees to our school student government as members of my executive cabinet. Thank you, and at this time, I yield to any questions.
President Park yields for questions. Are there any questions? Yep.
Yes, sir.
Silverman.
That was a really good update about like all the cabinet positions. Can you give an update on the rest of the school though? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you asked. So we made some great progress this week in terms of Carolina Kickoff. Had another meeting with Carolina Productions this afternoon. We're tentatively looking at using the Strom Fields for this event in the fall, trying to pinpoint a date in conjunction with the home football game, as I've communicated before, and looking at a Friday night to do such. So inch by inch, day by day, more progress is being made. Thank you, Senator.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you very much, President Parks.
Thank you all.
Senator Sprouse.
I motion to suspend the rules and allow the reputed nominees of the executive cabinet to come up and speak.
There has been a motion to suspend the rules to allow certain cabinet nominees to come forward and speak. Is there a second?
Second.
Senator Wolf seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye. Division.
There has been a call for division. The clerk will, is there a second?
Second.
The clerk will call the roll.
Algerino.
Aye.
This, just to clarify, you're voting aye to allow those nominees to speak. You're voting nay to not allow them to speak.
Algerino.
Aye.
Bailey. Aye. Barcenas.
Aye.
Bass.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Childs.
Aye.
Dodge.
Nay.
Eden. Falls. Farrell.
Aye.
Lintham. Geyser. Patchen.
Aye.
Helms. Hensley. Colgate.
Aye.
Powell.
Aye.
Hunger Pillar.
Nay.
Jackson.
Aye.
Christina Johnson. Andrew Johnson. Langston. Lesson. Llewellyn,
Abstain.
Little, McFarland, Miskin, Moran, Murphy, Newman, Nguyen, O'Reilly, Owen, Burkowski, Rodwell, Rogers, Zaleski,
Aye.
Sobelman, Sprouse, Stewart, Teal,
Nay.
Toller, Trask, Wallem, Ward, Wolf, John, and Langford.
The clerk will tabulate. To suspend the rules, it does require 2/3 vote, and by a vote of 25 to 19, that does not pass, so the rules will not be suspended. We are now in line for special orders of the Senate. Are there any petitions, appointments, applications, or other the clerk will read?
Application of Kayla Rebel to be seated on the Student Senate representing the College of Engineering.
That is going to be referred to the Powers and Responsibilities Committee. We are now in line for reported appointments. Are there any appointments, Senator Stewart? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Senator Helms? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Senator Murphy?
I move to appoint Scott Wolford as the Secretary of Environmental Affairs.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Senator Wow.
I move to confirm Corey Alpert as in the Attorney General position.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Senator Farrell?
I move to appoint Keith Spadero for a position of Secretary of Transportation for Cabinet.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Senator Bass?
I motion to appoint Katie Cohen as Secretary of Student Services to President Parks Cabinet.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Senator Wolf?
I motion to appoint Monty Bullabopper to serve as election commissioner to Parks Cabinet.
He wasn't referred. He was referred to Powers, so representative, therefore would have to. Senator Hungerpiller?
I move to confirm Mary Copeland Kane and Lindsey Bratton as directors of This On Us campaign. Nikki Finn.
Well, we have to go individually. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Go ahead.
I motion to confirm Lindsey Bratton as a director of This On Us campaign.
All those, is there a second?
Second.
In favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I move to confirm Nikki Film as the director of USC Cross.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I motion to confirm Evan Katz as a co-advisor for the freshman council.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I motion to approve Nick Santa Maria as the director of the Congressional Advisory Board.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I move to approve Mac Brewer as the Secretary of Alumni Relations.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I motion to approve Julia Fraser as a co-advisor of the Freshman Council.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I move to approve Mary Heath for Secretary of Traditions.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I move to confirm Danny Goodrow as the Secretary of Veterans Affairs.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
A motion to confirm Caleb Dixon as the Secretary of Institutional Affairs.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Excuse me, was there a second?
Second.
I thought so. Any opposed? Seeing none, ayes have it.
I move to confirm Jack Rogers as the Secretary of Community Outreach.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I'm done.
Second.
Senator Ward?
I would like to move to go to executive session to discuss matters of personnel.
There has been a motion to enter executive session. The motion to enter executive session does require a 2/3 majority and may be debated. Would you like to speak on that motion?
Yeah,
You can come forward, please.
Hey, everybody. I hate to ask for this, but it's really important because some of the positions that we are going to be talking about are some of the most important things that this university can put forward. I just want to say, given the traditional procedure, I don't think it would be appropriate to discuss people who are not a part of this chamber and who are also in the room. So I would really appreciate it if you would afford us the opportunity to go into executive session and discuss this thing the way it should be done. I yield for questions.
The senator has yielded for questions. Are there any questions?
Senator Alduino.
Senator Alduino, you're recognized.
Can you clarify what it means to go into executive session, just for everyone?
I will refer to the President of the Senate.
Executive session means all guests or other members outside of this body will be forced to leave the room. The doors will be closed. Senator Bass.
So the only people that would be here to speak on behalf of those people who were denied cabinet positions would be the same committee that denied them those positions, correct?
I would yield to President of the Senate, and I would also ask, is it possible to make exceptions?
Yeah, in the rules. Oh,
Senator Allen, would you like to?
To clarify, yeah, in the codes, as it states, as long as the majority votes to allow certain people into the Senate during executive session, they can stay. Other than that, they turn off the live stream, and this is used to discuss personal matters so that you're not live streaming or having the media comment on how you found people and not getting personal. So this is just for their protection as well as our protection, so that we actually know what's going on rather than having something show up on the media that isn't true. That's why we're doing the executive session. So if somebody would like for those certain people to stay, they would have to make a motion to allow after we move into executive session. So there you go.
And I will say before I yield for another question, that it is typically appropriate to not speak about people who were in the room.
Any other senators?
I yield for further questions.
Senator Miskin.
So we have to motion now to allow people to stay, who would like to stay.
It would be in the Senator Ward first, if he can repeat his motion with those that he would like to stay in the room. So after that, after we go to executive session, you may motion to allow others to come. Yes.
I agree that it's appropriate not to discuss other people in the room, but how are we supposed to know what would be the alternative process so that we know their sort of defense of why they should be appointed?
Well, I would like to remind you too that these have to be the form questions. Senator Bradley.
Did President Parks not, I guess, defend his arguments for the people who, the Powers and Responsibilities Committee, who we found unfavorable, did he not argue for them in his report?
Senator Bradley, I would say with zero reservation that the student body president did indeed argue for those he wanted to argue for and made his case. Yes.
Senator Miskin.
Would members of the Senate be able to speak on behalf of individuals who are being asked to for their personal, known personal and professional setting?
Yeah, if it's executive session, the floor will pass around to whoever wants it in due time. Do what?
After they're read.
Yeah.
Any further questions? Senator Lesson.
The Powers and Responsibilities Committee that submitted the reason why we thought each candidate was unfavorable and just as a personality, each reason why you said that.
I will say that the reasons that the student body president referenced all sourced from a document that is informal. It is just a personal courtesy to notify the student body vice president of why we found people unfavorable. Nothing in that document is necessarily binding or reflective of what exactly was said. Necessarily.
Senator Wallen.
Move to previous question.
1 second. There has been a motion to previous question. Like I said, this does require 2/3 majority vote. So the question is executive session. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay. Division.
There has been a call for division.
Logan called for it.
Excuse me.
That was Logan. Yeah.
Logan called it.
All right.
Logan called. I call for division.
Senator Bass has called for division. Is there a second?
Second.
Can we please go one at a time? We need 5 seconds.
Second.
1.
Second.
With not 5 seconds, motion fails. With that being said, there was 2/3. The sergeant at arms will now clear the chamber and secure the doors.
All